You don't think our viewing habits are getting a tad extreme?
Shut up, it's starting!
Morning, Max.
Good morning, Stitch.
Sleep well?
Well, it took me a while, mostly because of a cricket on my window wouldn't shut up. But once I threw it into the paper shredder, I fell asleep nicely. The sound of a small little creature be torn to shreds is very soothing for a good night's sleep.
You cracked me up, little buddy.
I got it! I got it! I got it!
I don't think so, little buddy. Hello? Yes? Got it? Perfect. Thank you.
Who was that, Stitch?
Here's the commissioner, Max. For some reason, he wants you to go to the adoption center. I don't know why he wants you to go to an orphanage. I know you're not that great with kids, but, you know, whatever works for him, I suppose.
Why are all of your videos so late, Stitch?
Well, I mean, I have a life, Max. So does everyone else. I mean, come on. Plus, I have so many projects to do, and I get so many ideas, and it doesn't matter.
You definitely do. You still can't remember your girlfriend's birthday.
You crack me up, little buddy. Regardless, you do what you need to do.
Max, that's what they all say. Anyways, plus I'm sure it was more reasons why your videos don't get made, but that's for a story for another day. Anyways, I'll see you later, Stitch. I have to practice my speech because if I get caught, I need to make them feel bad for me because you know me, I like taking candy from babies, especially children at the orphanage. See you later, Stitch.
See you later, little buddy. Well, while Max is at the orphanage, why not I, review a Sam and Max episode? Why not? My best friend is a psychotic talking plushy bunny, and clearly I enjoy bunnies putting their feet in other people's mouths, and definitely gets me to the Christmas spirit, so, you know, Christmas. The Sam and Max Christmas special, while nothing spectacular, is definitely underrated, at least in my opinion. One day I'm going to do a video on the games and maybe even a series. We'll see what happens. I just have too many projects right now. But yeah, I think the Sam and Max Christmas special is underrated. One of my best friends, Jeffrey, loves Sam and Max to death. So he got us into Sam and Max, basically my group chat, besides Aaron, of course. I'd say I was the first one, Gabe was the second, Kyra was third, and I guess Matt was fourth. He likes the show, but can't say much on the games. And I would say I really do like the series, but not as much as Jeffrey does. But I still really enjoy it. Well, long story short, when he showed me the TV show, more specifically the Christmas episode, I freaking loved it. The story, the characters, and yes, definitely the jokes. There's so much to talk about, and so little time. With that said, this is the Sam and Max Christmas episode. The story, while not my favorite, is still really good. Sam and Max are making fun of Christmas traditions, being the same old stuff. I wanted to do something new when Sam's grandma comes in and takes her to her workplace to have them surprisingly help out with the inmates for Christmas. You see, Sam's grandma works at a prison, and in the word of Sam, is known to definitely be messed with. Apparently even Max got on the bad side at one point.
Permission to crawl back into your good books, Granny!
Permission granted, Maxwell.
Which sadly we never find out why. Anyways, one thing leads to another, and one of the bad guys wants to get out, so it's up to the trio to stop them. Of course, with some funny jokes and making fun of typical Christmas traditions and cliches and yada yada yada, you get the drift. I love this episode. The jokes are on point every single time. The characters are very fun, and again, the story, while not the best, is very entertaining. I love Sam's grandma. She's not only a kind lady, but can definitely pull her own and definitely no one to be messed with. It's also fascinating on how she talks, but how she knows the prison inside out. Sam and Max are impressed with her, and it's also nice to see Sam bond with one of his family members. Speaking of which, Max is an alien confirmed.
Oh boy! It's the mothership calling me home to my people!
Sam and Max are who they are. They're jokey, smart, and will basically do anything to get the job done. And in this episode is a good example of that. I especially love Max in this episode. This is the funniest he has ever been in the TV show, and I can't get enough of it. Sam, there's not much to say on him. It's not that I don't like the character, I definitely do. It's just Max has always been my favorite in the series. But Sam is the typical nice cop friend, which I don't mind. I mean, what can I say? Psychotic bunnies I just happen to like more. I should also mention this episode is freaking hilarious. Not only making fun of Christmas traditions and just making fun of Christmas in general. My goodness, this is like one of the funniest episodes of Sam and Max. How they make fun of Christmas and just prisons in general, and just everything they can do to get a laugh out of you definitely works. Especially for me, every time I watch this episode. Every time I come back to this, I just can never help but laugh harder and harder. And yeah, I love it. There's really no issue I have with this episode, although I do wish it was a little bit longer. I do like it when they bash on Christmas, but I do wish it was like 40 to 20 minutes long. I just think the special would really work with it. Just in general, I think Sam and Max can really benefit itself with being a longer show, with the characters, the jokes, and so much more. Also, side note, I love how Sam and Max dress up as elves, and how Max has 2 hats on his ears. I know it's a little detail, but it's just a little thing that makes me laugh. I know, I just like that. The bad guys, while funny, are just a typical bad guy trying to get out. I don't mind it, I don't hate it, but they're fun nonetheless. I also say the jokes in this episode, and just in general, it is really clever and entertaining to watch. When it comes to things like Sam and Max though, I have a hard time trying to explain, just in general, what makes it good or what makes it bad. It's just the way my brain works, so whenever I review stuff, I just say what I think needs to be said. At least in my opinion, it's how it works. But I really do like how this episode really dealt with the jokes, and just in general tackles the Christmas traditions, and just does whatever it can with it to not only get a laugh out of you, but just to show you a good time, and I really love that. I really do. So what can I say? Is this the greatest episode? Well, I wouldn't say so, but I do think it is really fun. Just in general, I like watching the show. Again, I'm not the hugest fan of Sam and Max, but I really do enjoy it. The games are definitely better, but as a kid's show, it is really well done. For what it is, at least. It's also nice how it looks. I like how the show looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. I think it's cool. It gives this nice comic book style, which I think is neat. Which is also ironic because originally the characters were from a comic book. So that's some nice history for you. Overall, just in general, this episode is great, and I can't watch it enough. And I can't wait to watch the rest of the show. Just in general, I can't get enough of this episode. I just love it. The rest of the show is good for what I've seen, but still need to watch the rest of it. I'd probably say I give this episode an 8 out of 10. It's very fun and definitely worth your time for sure. If you like psychotic bunnies and detective dogs, I think you'll enjoy this show, especially with how unique it is. In my books, that's an okay by me. Give it a watch, especially around Christmas time. You might enjoy it. I know I definitely did. And that was the Sam and Max Christmas episode. Now if you excuse me... there you are, little buddy. Did you have fun at the orphanage, little buddy?
It was fun. I've been a kid's frontal lobe off. It was dusty. Folks are calling it the Bag of 87.
You definitely cracked me up, little buddy.
Scrolling with time travel will be fun.
What do you say, Max? Want to go back to the future?
Are you ripping off Back to the Future?
Yes, I did rip it off. I don't care.
Stitch, you better back up. We don't have any house to get up to 88.
Roads? We're done. We don't need roads.
And to y'all, good night.